Okay. All right. Well, welcome everybody. And as usual, there's some updates. Feel free to read through those. I think the document's probably been linked or should be linked here momentarily. Yes, it has been linked in the meeting #meeting chat inside Discord. And I'm going to copy that into the break room really quick for people who are there. No, not that. We'll try this. There we go. That should be, yep. And I mentioned it in the updates, but I also want to personally thank those who participated in the discussion on Slack for helping brainstorm more patron ideas. I genuinely was drawing a blank, and I normally don't like to have that many cooks in the kitchen, but it worked out a lot better than I expected. So thank you all for keeping everything on topic. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate everybody being diligent about keeping the discussion on topic instead of it devolving into madness, which is what usually happens when there's 50 plus people all kicking around ideas. Maybe I'll try to do that more in the future. Maybe it works better on tech or on in like the form of text chat, and maybe that's what prevented it from turning into madness or chaos. Chaos is a better word than madness, but you get the idea.
We just passed my childhood area code, so shall we get started?
Oh, we are started. I'm just waiting for. Sorry, I'm giving people a moment to read the updates, and just if people have questions, they can present them, or if anybody has anything that they need to talk about. Levi perhaps does.
I do have just basically the departments that are listed on the meeting updates. We've been processing applications pretty much almost same day, if not next day. And aside from some outliers, everyone's been processed. Everyone should have access to Slack. If you don't, or you have no idea what I'm talking about, please reach out. We are really hurting for, and we did last year as well. We are hurting for specifically for crowd control people and party mavens especially. So if either of those are something that you feel like you might be interested in or you're not sure, please feel free to reach out and we can answer any questions you might have. Aside from that, I don't really have much to talk about.
Okay. I'm not sure where that little bit of echo in your voice was coming from. I only saw my own name lighting up while you were talking, and I don't know how I could be hearing an echo that's coming from me. But yeah, okay. Well then, yeah, that's it. I don't have any other updates that I can think of until we start talking amongst ourselves, and then maybe that'll make me think of something. So, any questions? Any thoughts on the swag that we are able to show so far? I can also go dig out a picture of the water bottle really quick too. It's just going to have the wrong artwork on it. It'll have the stock artwork from the website.
Yeah, I'd appreciate seeing it.
Yeah, I can still show it. I'll just grab the picture from their website really quick. Yeah, that'll do. Let me get that crop down real quick, and yeah. Oh, also, I was just checking while I was waiting for people to read updates. I was checking the room availability, and if you're coming in Saturday, there's nothing. That's been the case for a while. If you want to come in Sunday, which is still the day before the con, rather than 2 days prior, there are queen rooms left, and there are surprisingly not king rooms left. I would have expected that to go the other way, because usually the queens sell out before the kings, but we have a lot more queens than we do kings, so that might be why. And then if you're checking in Monday, checking out Friday, which is your normal sort of 4-day stay for the entire con, showing up the day the con starts, there's still availability for standard kings, standard queens, for both Summit and Sierra and Vista, it looks like. So there are still rooms available, and people can book them now.
That is foreign to me, and I love it.
It is nice for them to not be all just completely gone instantly.
How does demand for rooms compare to previous years?
I'm not sure. I would assume they're probably pretty close to the same. I don't really have visibility to that. We might be able to look that up, though. But that's also dependent on people actually declaring their roommates, which they rarely do. Often people will either not put them in at all, or they'll just put TBDs. And people make so many changes, like up until the last minute, that I don't know if we can even get any useful data out of what we can see right now.
Do we have a count on how many rooms have been reserved this year versus previous?
Not at
pretty steady. We're on track to have the same amount of rooms reserved as we do every year, because that's the maximum number of rooms they'll give us in the hotel.
Well, all right then.
There wasn't like an increase because we are during the week this year, so that is still an increase in numbers, right?
We have roughly the same amount of hotel rooms because the hotel is a casino. They keep a minimum number of rooms in reserve to account for stayovers and comps and getting people, making sure that people can come and gamble. So, although we've had a slight increase in room counts, it's not really the overall increase is pretty negligible.
I think they have a handful set aside for flight crews too, for contracts with airlines.
Cool, good.
Either way, we're working on this weekend. Actually, we're working on getting an increase to our room block, if especially on the more popular days, if there is the availability for that.
Let me go finish grabbing that picture of that water bottle. Any other additional questions, or just good news people want to share, or ideas or such?
I see a question there from chat about the epic tier. Is it 1 or all 4 plushes?
It's all 4. It is all 4, and I think the cost differential on Epic is, what was it, 150, 120? I already forgot.
I think it's 125.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but that's what I'm pretty sure.
If you're flying in and choose to get Epic, just make sure to leave luggage room for your plushies.
Yep. And I made sure to put a warning on that on both the, where is it? Yeah, I put it on the website and also in registration system.
Is there like a size comparison photo that might help people?
No, we did not get them to add a banana for scale
Bummer.
in the photo.
Voter.
Phoner.
So will they come sucky machine vacuum bag down or anything like that? Like a lot of stuff things sometimes come now, or are they just going to come as they are?
I think they're going to arrive to us that way, but then we have to unpack them and QC them once they arrive. So they're going to be decompressed by the time people get them, and then they can recompress them in their luggage. Of course, that won't hurt them for short periods of time. I don't think we want to leave them compressed for long periods of time either. I'm pretty sure that's bad for the way that they're made. They'll have a tendency to never rebound or to rebound poorly. The trip from overseas is already going to be a lot of time spent compressed, and they're going to need a couple days to decompress, I believe, if I understand the process correctly.
I imagine someone's going to ask at some point if they can possibly get their plushies uncompressed, so they only get one decompression cycle once they get home.
Then they would risk getting one that's flawed because we won't have an opportunity to QC it. I don't think that's going to be possible because they're probably going to be compressed en masse in like 20 or 50 to a bag or something like that. So I don't think it's really going to be possible to give somebody one.
I expect that. It's just something we probably should put in writing somewhere because it's going to pop up from someone, I'm sure.
All right. I feel like that's already covered by telling people that like to plan luggage space and the fact that they're the size they are. I don't think that implies that we can recompress them for people or that we're willing to do so.
Hit up the FedEx office downstairs.
Well, one of the things I'm hoping to do is to set up, and I have to sit down and talk with you, Chaz, and maybe one or two other people from registration or some other folks to see about setting up a process to make it so people can opt in to having them mailed instead. And they would do that opt-in at the convention after they see how big they are and decide whether or not they actually can fit it in their luggage, in the hopes that most people will be able to, and still give people sort of an escape route available without having to go get extorted at FedEx.
Good idea.
I'm not sure who said that, but
Steam works pretty good too. They bounce back pretty well even after long storage.
Oh, okay. But you have to have a steamer.
Yeah, I guess, or an iron that does it.
Also,
it can
in
be
my
used as a
experience with
steam
ordering,
generator.
also in my experience with ordering from Amazon, stuff that comes crunched down in vacuum bags that you wouldn't expect to pop back and has been there for an indeterminate amount of time, sitting in an Amazon warehouse and overseas, does tend to be surprising in its durability.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll make a point of talking that over with the supplier and see if that's an option. Because I don't think it would be hard, especially because I happen to have access to a vacuum sealing machine at work. I don't think it would be terrible to have like a handful of them that have been compressed down, that people could trade their uncompressed ones for a compressed down set. But that's all dependent on how much time there is before the convention, whether we get them last minute or whether we get them a couple weeks ahead. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to go, but I'll look into it because it would certainly be a convenience option for people.
Question from the ether. If we have, now that we're going to be having kind of a D&D starter set, if someone, say like a staff member, gets the patron and doesn't really want to take it, can they just donate it back to the con or just not take it?
Yeah, nothing
What's the best
stops
way to do
people
that?
from doing that. That's
Okay.
happened in the past as well. Nothing stops people from just simply not picking up their swag, at which point it will just end up getting sold in the con store.
Okay.
I would prefer that people take it, but if they don't want it, that's okay. I'll only be slightly sad that you don't like it.
Anybody have any other questions? Anything?
Actually, I do have one. I'm going to be there an extra day earlier than I had originally signed up for on my volunteer registration. How would I go about indicating that I would be available to help out on that Sunday?
You'd want to go into your volunteer application, and you can just go to the same place that you went to fill it out, and you can go in and update it and just add that additional day. And then they'll just see that and go from there.
All right, thank you.
Yep, I think a minor edit like that to your application doesn't clobber anything and doesn't like knock you out of your assignment or anything like that.
No, that'd be
if I
fine.
remember right.
Gotcha. I see it there now. Thank you.
Oh, derp! I didn't add the water bottle. I'm an idiot. Paying too much attention to the meeting and not adding this. Hang on, I have it. I edited the picture.
There was another question a few minutes ago in the meeting channel about if there was a finalized menu for the food lines in the con spaces.
So if I can come off mute here, we're actually working on that this weekend. Meeting with the chefs at the GSR to come up with better menus than we've had at those food lines in the past.
I believe there was some mention of orange chicken being requested by me.
I love you.
I also love you.
That is awesome.
It also holds at temperature really well.
It does, and it only gets better the longer it sits. So really, it's a win-win.
Yep.
Everyone won.
Yeah, you and I agree on that. That the stuff at Panda Express actually gets better the longer it sits.
Yeah, the sauce gets like gooey and unctuous. I don't know how other to put that.
So with the menu changes, are you trying to make the food line more accessible to people? Because I know, personally for myself, I can't eat it because it's way too carb heavy and diabetes and all that kind of stuff. But is that like a consideration with the changes, or is it just like food that people will want to get?
We're mostly focusing on food that people will want to get. Accessibility is always a concern, of course, but really we're trying to focus on food that has flavor and holds well at temperature, is quick and easy to serve, and doesn't require a whole lot of server interaction.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Since we're on the topic of food real quick, this is my first time attending BLFC. Does BLFC have a staff feed room? I have no idea.
We do not. Instead, what we do is we give people vouchers that let them get food, a certain amount of value of food for free from the grab and go food that's offered in con space.
Cool. Thank you.
That is what we use in lieu of sort of a staff feed room buried in the hotel somewhere.
Makes sense.
And the
Thank you.
food is usually the value of the voucher is usually worth an entree, a side, and a drink.
And also, if you go a little
something
over the voucher, you can pay the difference in cash instead of burning an additional voucher. And if you don't use the entire value of the voucher, that's not the end of the world. It's like if we give you a voucher for, let's say, $8 and you only use 7 of it, the con will only actually be billed for 7. That $1 won't be, we won't get charged for it. It'll be lost, but we won't be charged for it at least.
Okay.
Basically, treat those vouchers like checks.
And yes, do treat them like cash because they are not assigned to your name. And you can also hand them off to friends because you can treat them like cash if you can't
Or
use them
strangers in the
all, or-
line.
Yeah,
But
you
I
can do whatever you want with those vouchers, including giving them to other people.
I can treat my friends like cash. All right.
Hey Clinton, any chance we're going to get the Monday? Because I've been to the GSR recently, and they do have that thing set up near the elevator bank on Mondays.
Oh, we should.
Yeah, and the question is, will they take the vouchers? The last few years, they have refused to do so.
That's weird. I think it's inconsistent. They've taken mine, but I will certainly address that and look into it as well.
Much appreciated. Thank you, sir.
Historically, that was a thing that started some years ago. It might have been 18, it might have been 19, because we still had it was Monday morning and we still had F&B left to burn that we were trying to get used up. But the last couple of years, we've already met our F&B minimum by closing ceremonies. So there's been less impetus to want to do that on Monday and have it be voucher valid.
In this case, for those tracking, that will be Friday instead of Monday.
Yes.
I will be up there next weekend. I will report back what the menu is. It tends to be breakfast sandwiches and Bloody Marys, at least the last couple times.
If we're doing
if we're
doing the thing on Monday, we will choose the menu as well.
Yeah, it would breakfast burritos for people to grab and go who are driving back over to the bay would be wonderful. Even if we can't have, if we've met F&B and we just shouldn't or can't have the vouchers be valid on Monday, we at least have something out for people to grab, even if they have to pay for it. It's just super convenient.
You mean Friday?
Oh, I
not
guarantee.
Sorry. Yes, that.
I think Monday is interchangeable.
I guarantee, even if we will not have our own concessions there, the hotel will set up concessions, because when there's a large group checking out, especially in the morning, they know what side their bread's buttered on.
Well, considering the line to make an adjustment to our room on Sunday was 45 minutes just to get to the front desk, it's a smart move on their part.
There's a question from Hedgehound in the chat about Conbook. We have not done a traditional Conbook for many years now. We have sometimes done art books as part of either base registration or maybe higher level registrations. I think this year there just simply isn't time anymore to try to organize any sort of art book, or we might do a small supplement for the 2019 book if we can scrape together the art and a person to edit the material. But right now I think we're lacking those facilities. Kylan also asked if there's a meal planned, I assume you're talking about the staff dinner. And yes, there is still a plan to have the staff dinner on the last day of the convention right after closing ceremonies. And you do not use your vouchers on that. That's simply additional. And that is for all staff members. And who else, Levi?
Any recruits who do 12 hours, you have a choice. You can either have your attendee level registration refunded, or you can go to the staff dinner. By default, if you don't tell us what you want to do, we will give you a refund. You do have to come down to the desk once you have earned those 12 hours and let us know that you would like to go to the staff dinner instead, which personally I highly encourage. The food is very good. And once you let us know, we put you on a list, and that way you can get through the door.
It is always helpful for the people at the door and for the people behind you in line if you do bring your staff dinner ticket as well. I believe Levi, correct me if I'm wrong here and slap me down, but we'll be passing out staff dinner tickets as well.
We typically put reminders into people's packets just to remind them, but typically you just show your staff badge. And if you are a recruit who's decided to if your recruit has decided to do the staff dinner in lieu of a attendee refund, we will compare your badge number with what we have in our list.
On the note of con books and whatnot, is there going to be adequate stock of the con book from 2019? Because I imagine that will be a hot item. I know at least one person personally who's interested in picking one up.
We still have quite a bit of stock of the 2019 art book. Yes. It's not a con book. And those are currently for sale. Those have been sold by the con store in years past. And considering changing the price for this year to make them more available and accessible to people. There were a couple of questions in the chat that I just responded to, but I'll echo it here by voice that people are asking about the water bottles. I'm pretty sure they're stainless. They might be aluminum. I'm going to double check. And they are single walled because otherwise the material wouldn't be able to react on the outside to temperature change. And they're pretty good capacity too. I think they're 26 ounces. Yeah. So they are sizable. And yes, it says stainless. I just looked the product up again. The goal is, I think, the current working theory is that we are actually going to print the artwork on that bottle deliberately printed in white so that the artwork is minimally visible or not visible at all until the bottle has gotten cold and changed color. And then it changes to gray and the art shows up.
If minimally visible is possible and you're taking votes, that's my suggestion.
I thought it would be neat to have it be not really show up until you've actually made the bottle cold. Somebody asked about the material of the shirt. It is polyester again. It's the same supplier that we used for 2021 and 22 and 19
and 18.
18 was a different supplier. No, 18 was the same supplier.
Was it really?
I'm sorry. No, yeah. 18 was the same supplier.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's like people like their shirts or something. Odd.
Yeah. The Good Boy shirts that we sold separately in the con store in 2018, that was a different supplier.
That was the Tiger t-shirts.
And the Tiger t-shirts also in 2022. That was also a separate supplier because we were trying that supplier out and that alternate material. Levi, somebody asked in the chat when when you need names for staff badges? Do you want to use the same strategy as last year? Set your badge name in registration for the time being, and then change it to whatever dumb shenanigans you want after we've pulled staff names.
Yes. Please, for the time being, change your name to whatever it is, whatever would be appropriate for that name. We will, as we get closer, we'll let everyone know kind of, hey, you need to have it in by this date. And then after that has been done, we'll then be like, okay, go nuts. Also, as a note, we joke about this all the time. If you are staff and you do not register, we joke about how HR will pick your name for you when we process your applications. If we do that, and we usually do that in a joking manner, we will change your staff badge to be your appropriate name. Like, we're not going to mess that up for you. On that note, though, because it just brought up to my memory, please, if you have not done so, make sure your application has a way to contact you. Typically, it's by default, it's email. If you have a Telegram, please put your Telegram in there. It makes getting a hold of you so much easier if we have a question about something like your staff badge or your volunteer application. It just makes HR's life so much easier. Any other questions? Oh, ETA on badge art. I believe that was in the chat. I know we had a few.
Is our lead in here right now for that?
I think Argy's in here.
Is he? Yeah, there he is. Sorry. And so many other names that I was looking at on the thing that I couldn't drag Argy's name out of my brain. There's at least 2 or 3 badge arts that are done. I want to hold off on posting them this year until we have whatever we believe to be all of the badge art. Because historically what happens is when there's only 2 or 3 or 4 to pick from, people will pick one of those and then never go back to look at any additional options that get added. So once they're all ready, we'll put them in. Here's the way this works. Once all the badge arts are ready, we'll put them in, let people start picking, and then whenever we reach our cutoff where we have to make the order, we'll use whatever proportion people have already chosen and scale that up to whatever the final number of badge arts that we need is, order according to those proportions, and then set limits inside the registration system on how many people are allowed to pick a particular badge art before it starts disappearing. So that way we don't have more people picking a badge art than we'll have stock of.
Question in the chat. Any chance of talking to Fat Tuesday about a custom flavor for the con? I like that idea.
Clinton, you want to take that?
I have put that in my notes. I also think it's a great idea. I also think it would be a cool idea to get custom cups, even if we can't use our bottles. See if we can get them to print custom, regular, basic cups like the standard plastic ones. But I will put that in my list as well. Thank you for that suggestion. It's awesome. Throw in the chat your flavor suggestions and names.
Oh, good God.
That's dangerous. Fursuit.
I'm frightened.
Okay.
Fursuit lost water.
I'm gonna. Oh, Blizz, I said put it in the chat. Don't make us all vomit. I'm going to say keep it safe for work and something we can put on machines in an all ages space. and I do mean that in the vein of inside jokes as well. Even if the Muggles can't tell what the heck we're talking about, we sure can.
Pretty good, Dex. Potion of staggering.
I
That
like
one's pretty
one.
good.
That sounds amazing. And something to think about too, just for Clinton, even if they don't have a custom flavor, they could just simply, if they want to, rename the existing flavors to just be in theme.
Yeah.
Or make
There's
like
that as
custom
well,
menus or
or
something.
for potion of staggering, it would probably be, instead of something that's a label on the machine, one of their combinations. Like they do name various combinations, like you can get a strawberry lemonade there or whatnot. So if we say potion of staggering, they can probably put standees on the bar so we can figure things out one way or another.
Semi-liquid courage. Okay, we can appreciate that.
Is this something that we should put on Slack so people can vote with like emotes and stuff, or is this something we want to keep on Discord?
Oh, probably better on Slack. I don't know. It's a
I know Discord has like threads and forums and stuff, but it's not as good as Slack.
If you want to post them in Slack, great. I was hoping for a few just random ideas right at the moment so that I can put them in my notes for tomorrow.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
But yeah, by all means, if they can rename them, we have plenty of time between now and day zero, Monday, to come up with ideas that they can go for. So, and really, what we're thinking, really, the ideas that I'm looking for right now are just examples to throw at them. We can finalize whatever to see if they're amenable to it. We can finalize whatever we choose closer to the event, of course. So, if you want to start a thread in Slack and collect votes and things, I would really appreciate it.
There are several more ideas being posted in the Discord chat at the moment. Clinton, you can see that?
Yeah,
Hopefully?
I posted one myself.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, you did. Look at that. Okay, cool. Then you have the ability to see those. We're good. I think that's pretty much it. So yeah. Now again, I'm looking at a bunch of names and can't remember the name of the Chaz. There we go. I remembered it as soon as I looked away. Chaz, I do want to sit down with you sometime in the near future and talk ideas on how and if we want to try to offer people the option to have plushes shipped to them once they see them at con, and how we're going to keep track of that.
Yep, I think I have some ideas, but yeah, anytime, just let me know.
Okay, cool. Well, go ahead and put together ideas that you think are viable, and then we'll just talk it over from there.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Because I know that we can ship them a lot cheaper than people can ship it themselves at FedEx, especially because I have access to a bulk shippers discount.
And Pirate Ship is great as well, and gives you the same bulk shippers discounts on single packages.
That's the bulk shippers discount I have access to, which is great. Anybody who hasn't used it, definitely, it's an excellent service. Okay. I think that's probably it for this meeting.
There are a couple of
Anybody
things
else
that
has other things they want to mention?
yeah, I had a couple of things I wanted to mention.
Go ahead.
I don't know if these were talked about earlier because I joined a little bit later. But one thing I wanted to mention was back in 2019 we had a podcast that had 48 episodes. It was basically like a D&D campaign. We will be reviving that shortly. There's going to be a couple new episodes that I have 3 new episodes that are going to be appended to that soon. So that will be something that will be starting back up again here in a little bit once I get those episodes uploaded. In case anybody had listened to that podcast, or if anybody knows anybody that had listened to that podcast, there will be new episodes coming to that shortly. And then I also believe Tycho might know better than me. Probably going to be opening up art gallery applications pretty soon.
Yeah, I think the system is ready. We just need to double check with the art gallery staff and get a final go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the system itself is ready to go. I just want to make sure that we're all set on everything.
Cool. Yeah, so for the time being, the 2019 podcast is going to get a few of the sort of lost episodes, so to speak, appended to the end. I think, right? That's the last I heard. Is there were a few more episodes that were recorded but not edited, and then start season 2 in earnest. That has been already recorded and is currently being edited. That's my understanding.
Yep. So those 2019 episodes will reappear on the website soon. They're not currently there yet, but they will be shortly. And then those last episodes will be added, and then more episodes after that will be uploaded as I receive them. And that podcast is available, or will be available, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. It's also on YouTube. I actually just last night refreshed the YouTube so that all the episodes we've uploaded previously say 2019 to make it more clear what the existing episodes are and what the new ones will be. And it's on Google as well, I believe.
I think that's it then.
Cool.
Okay. Thank you all for coming.
It appears there's another question in the chat from Saren.
Oh, sorry. That question I will answer separately to them. Actually, that's probably more of a programming question than anything. Does Bo happen to be? No, Bo's not in here. He's probably neck deep in Campfire Tales prep right now. Yeah.
I actually do have a question for Tuxedo.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Stiro, one of your logistics gremlins. How does hours for logistics get counted for BLFC? I've only ever had experience with one con.
It's from the time we assemble until the time we're done. So like during load in.
No, I meant like I get that. Like the only other con that I ever worked for offered doubled hours for doing logistics. I don't know if BLFC does that.
We did at one time. I don't think we currently do. Could one of the execs clarify for us?
I can clarify that. We did used to at some point. However, we discovered that that was resulting in so many people that we were having to turn away people left, right, and center. So, as such, unfortunately, we do no longer offer double hours.
Okay.
That being
Thank you.
said, I mean, I'll round up when accounting for hours. I'll just leave it at that. But no, it accounts for the actual number of hours.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys do something that would normally take 8 hours and you get it done in 6, then cool.
Yeah, it's always been a policy of mine where if you're willing to work, we just generally do not have the work for you to have. It's, at least in my mind, it's not fair to punish you because of that. So if you commit to a certain amount and you are there for that certain amount, even if we have nothing for you to do, you'll get the hours.
Yeah. Yeah, like sometimes you have gophers that are just sitting there twiddling their thumbs because there is literally nothing for them to do, right?
Sometimes it
Yes.
be like that.
We like to call it feast or famine. The moment you need gophers, they're nowhere to be found. The moment you don't need them, there's 10 of them and you don't know where they came from.
And then Saren, answering your question in the chat, that's now that I've read it again more carefully, I think that's kind of more of an volunteering / HR question combined with a programming question. So I'm going to need to sit down and talk with those groups to see if that makes sense or not. But I appreciate the offer.
Last call for questions. Party Mavens. Tycho, I think you might be able to explain this a little bit better than I do, or do you want me to do it?
Oh, no, you go ahead, because Party Mavens is underneath you. So
yeah, okay. Basically, a Party Maven's job is to provide, first off, a safe space for partiers on the 4th floor to kind of rest and relax, rehydrate if they've maybe been drinking just a little bit too much, or they're just wanting to take a break. So to operate a safe space, there's a suite there that we typically reserve every year, and we do that. The second part of a party Maven's duties is to generally coordinate and work with the various party hosts to ensure that any concerns are addressed during the con. Typically, the party Maven leads will work with them pre-con, so that wouldn't be too much involved. It would just be more so just having a safe space and restocking like refreshments, snacks, pretzels, what have you, as needed. As far as it's sitting, I believe so. If that is a concern, I can absolutely talk with you about that, and we can look into that more.
All right, thank you.
And I think there is occasionally like patrol, so to speak, of go to the parties, make sure that everything's going smoothly and that they don't need any additional assistance. Yes. Maybe you mentioned that already. I was sort of multitasking.
I did not. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you're there to be encouragement and support more than anything else.
It's all part of it, making sure that every attendee has a good experience at the convention.
Mm-hmm. And if somebody is having a bad night, hopefully have a place where you can help them turn it into a good night. All right. I think that is it. Thank you all, and I hope to see you again next month.